Many tech real estate companies are burning money. EXP Realty is the only real estate tech company out there that's actually making a profit. And not only that, they have close to $200 million in cash on the balance sheet with no debt. Think about that for a second.
Wow, 200 million, Justin, that is a lot of dough. And that's good news for EXP. And so, there's one part of this video that they mentioned Compass. And, great company, great agents, good market share, definitely. I was actually going to join Compass. And luckily I didn't. I feel right now they're in a pickle. They're burning a lot of cash, and definitely it's a company to watch.
I completely agree with you on that, Jeff. And Mike Del Pree did a segment recently on Inman, talking about these topics that we just mentioned. He is a tech strategist and analyst, so his information is pretty credible, to say the least. So here's a video for you to check out.
Good morning, Inman. All right, what's going on? We are in the midst of a massive financial reckoning in the real estate tech space, all right? Stock prices of the big publicly listed internet companies are down 60, 70, 80% over the past year. That's billions of dollars of shareholder value just kind of gone instantly. Some of the biggest real estate tech companies out there are bleeding money, hemorrhaging huge amounts of cash. Since 2017, Opendoor's lost over $1.6 billion. So let's look at some data, all right? When I think about cash, I think about how much money a company has in the bank and how much they're burning, how much they're spending. If we go back to Q1 2022, we can see just a couple publicly listed companies, the blue bar, how much cash do they have in the bank? And the pink bar, how much are they burning? How much did they burn in that quarter? You can see some companies like EXP made money. They generated cash. Others at the other end of the chart, you see Compass, they burned a lot, about $150 million in that quarter. So as an exercise, it's an exercise because Q1 is abnormal, right? Cash burn in Q1 is much higher than the rest of the year, so take this with a grain of salt. This is an exercise, back of the envelope. But you can see what happens, right? EXP can last forever. They're making money. This is how many months of cash, right? But then you kind of notice the Compass problem, right? They're just lower than its peers. 10 doesn't really matter so much. It's just the fact they're lower than its peers. That's because they have relatively small amount of cash in the bank, but their burn rate is super, super high. Then we throw some of the big guys into this equation, Opendoor and Zillow. If you're hoping for them to go away, keep hoping. They've got over $2.5 billion each of cash in the bank. They're going to be totally fine. They can last this out. It's going to be fine. So there's a lot of activity, and there's a lot of new models in this space. This is something I track very closely, all right? And they're getting mainstream. So last time I was up here, I showed this chart looking at the new brokerage models. And I said, wow, look at this. EXP, Compass, they're growing really fast. And then you got industry incumbent Realogy kind of up top, right? Exponentially larger than the new brokerage models. Watch what happens when we fast forward to today. Boom. That's incredible growth. If I thought it was strong in 2019, 2021 is insane. I mean, exponential growth. And before you send me an email or something afterwards, this is EXP just in the United States. All right, this is apples to apples. That's crazy growth. And then we throw Realogy back up there. Still kind of the same. EXP is actually bigger than them on a transaction volume basis. That's super significant. This is crazy growth, crazy growth. And it highlights the risk that I think it's probably the #1 risk that everyone in the industry faces right now. And again, I'm going to pull up a quote. We're losing so slowly, we think we're winning. This is taken out of context. Gary Keller was not talking about my graph. It was something else, but it's still apt. And that's the issue, right? The industry is moving so fast, you can't just sit still. You can't do nothing. And that's the risk. So much stuff is happening with these new models. Even if they just gain a little bit of traction, you can't sit still. So back to EXP and Compass, the big growers, right? It's the tech. That's what's powering it. It's the tech, right? Right? Actually, it's not. It's agent count. the growth of those companies is tied directly to the growth in the number of agents. Their success story is a recruiting success story. And that's because technology doesn't sell houses, agents do. One more thing I want to talk about, just one more thing. I can't help but think about the massive amounts of venture capital pouring into this space, right? Almost $20 billion last year, and over the past, 5, 6 years, maybe $50 billion, venture capital firms pouring money into real estate and real estate tech. And this is causing a huge influx of new models. New business models in real estate tech, new brokerage models, new solutions for consumers. Hundreds of them subsidized by venture capital, tons of it. And it's technology. The title of this is real estate technology. And of those, dozens are focused on new ways to buy and sell homes, right? Everything from alternative financing, which is kind of the power buying, iBuying stuff, to finding a home, listing a home, selling your home. Tons of new models, billions and billions of dollars. So there's so much new technology out there and so many new business models, there's less need for agents, right? No, I don't know, maybe. That's not the story they're pitching to investors. They're not going to investors and saying, we're building all this technology and we're just going to keep using agents and that's how everything's going to work out. No, they're going after the agent commission pool. They're trying to get their cut of that pie. So much new technology and new business models, less need for agents. Except there's not. So if you look at the data doesn't support it. If you look at the evidence for home sellers, over 90% are using agents to sell their home. That is at an all-time high over the past 40 years. So people are still using agents to sell homes. What about buying homes? What do you think? People using agents to buy homes? I don't know. You got Zillow, you got all the listings. Maybe you have to call a Compass agent now and then. No, it's actually the vast majority of people are using agents to buy homes as well. 87%. That's huge. That's at this all-time high. Agents are still super relevant. And if you think about where Zillow came on the scene, that was way back there. You think Zillow's turning on the lights, reducing the need for agents to get access to inventory. There's actually more consumers using agents now to buy homes than when Zillow came on. It's increased that over time. And the reason is that agents are still absolutely central to the transaction. With all of this billions of dollars in investment coming in and all of these new models, everything from power buying, iBuying, what Zillow's doing, and the big real estate portals, if you go kind of another layer deep, you realize that the agents are still central to the transaction. With all of this tech, all of this change, all of the capital, that's still true. Thank you.
Wasn't that an amazing video? Oh my gosh,
Amazing.
EXP Realty is outproducing all the other brokerages out there with just a small amount of agents, and we're growing rapidly.
Amazing company, fastest growing company in the world. Agents need to recognize.
Well, Jeff, I completely agree with you on that. So if you're looking for more information about EXP Realty, contact us, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.